everybody. Surprise, surprise, I'm live. I just had a couple thoughts that have been running through my head all day, and it's come from a lot of different sources, some wonderful people that I've listened to today, and I just wanted to kind of bring up self-reflection. What is self-reflection? It can be a lot of different things. Yesterday, I posted a video on my private page or my public page, and I asked 3 questions. And these 3 questions can be some of the first steps to self-reflection. I know in previous videos we talked about the RAIN process. That is also a great way of reflection. But the 3 questions I asked were: are you ready for a change? What are your stories? And what are you tolerating in life? And just to kind of briefly go over what I mentioned, I know some of you have already seen this video that I'm talking about, but are you ready? That is the first question, because if you are ready to make a change in your life, then you're halfway there. You've already gotten to that spot where you can sit there and say, hey, you know what? I've decided that today is going to be different from yesterday. And that's the first step. And that's the most amazing and scary step. The second question is, what are your stories? Now, to kind of explain a little bit, we all have stories. In psychotherapy, they call them identifiers. But that's just like mom, sister, daughter, doctor, healer, those are all identifiers. But your stories, what makes you who you are? What makes you, like what makes me Victoria? I have lots of stories. I've had many, many stories, and the stories can change. But I've had some wonderful stories, and I've had some negative stories. And the most important thing is negative stories. What have you been telling yourself your whole life? And what has caused you to be stuck? That's the most important question, I think, when it comes to self-reflection. And the third question I asked was, what are you tolerating? So we all have things we tolerate. On the video before, I had mentioned I'm tolerating a cluttered office, and I'm tolerating myself not being physically as I would like to be. I've put too much attention, I put in a lot of attention on my inner self and in my intellectual self, and I haven't really paid attention to my external self, the physical Victoria. And it's getting to a point where I have to take control. And there are other things. When we get triggered, we've had a conversation about being triggered and negative people. So self-reflection in that aspect is, what triggers you and why are you triggered? And what is the underlying feeling below that trigger? It's really important to take this step, because this is how you become aware. And once you become aware of who you are, the behaviors that you're doing to yourself and to others, some are unconscious, some are obvious, but they all kind of, the negative ones they all do the same thing. And they keep you where you are, or they put you on a hamster wheel where you never get off, and you just keep going and going and going and going and going. And you feel like there's no way out. I'm telling you, there is a way out. And self-reflection, sorry, I'm pointing a pen at you, but self-reflection is really, really important, because I'm a big believer, and you could probably see it through my other videos, personal responsibility and accountability. Accountability to yourself, accountability to others. That is the way we can make change. And you can't change your life without changing yourself. So your thoughts have to change. Your mindset has to change. How you view and perceive the world around you has to change. And I just actually, before I got on, I saw a quote that, it's from Oprah, and she's just awesome when it comes to quotes. She's got the best quotes. And the quote that she said was, "We cannot become what we need to be by remaining who we are." And when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's really thought provoking. Because we can't. If we need to change our lives, if we need to get ourselves to a better position, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in your job, whether it's in, your relationships with friends and family, and just strangers in general, we have to change. We really have to change. We cannot remain where we are. Because if we remain where we are, it's just this hamster wheel over and over and over and over. And eventually we start to resent ourselves, and we start to resent life, and we start to resent the people around us. And that's not the best way to really become your best self. Becoming your best self begins with us. It begins with our inner selves and how we, my battery is dying. So of how we perceive things and how our mindset is. We need to shift perspective. So I'm going to wrap up because I got 10% left on my battery. Got to plug it in. But I just wanted to come in to you and give you a little bit of the thoughts that were running through my head today. And remember, we cannot become what we need to be by remaining who we are. So how do we do that? And that starts with self-reflection and awareness. But I want to warn you, sometimes we can get stuck. If we are so down on ourselves, we can still get stuck in a hamster wheel when we're self-reflecting, because it turns into self-judgment and self-blame. We don't want to go there. We want to look at it from an objective point of view. We want to see ourselves like if we're outside of our person, and we're looking in on ourselves, and we're saying, why did I do that? Very objective, no emotion. So I just wanted to come in and give you that thought. Tomorrow we'll be talking about anxiety, and I'm very excited. It's going to be a live call at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. So that's 10 UK, 9 Australia, and I think I have a couple other people in Canada and in California. So that would be 3 hours earlier or 2 hours earlier, whatever. But 5 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to talking to you then. Bye. Have a wonderful day.